Hey guys, today I'm going to rank my favorite Kingdom Hearts 1 worlds from worst to best. I should preface this video by saying that Kingdom Hearts 1 is one of my favorite games, so these ranks come from a place of love. I've done playthroughs on this channel just to see if I can beat the game without jumping and without attacking, and I just need more reasons to keep talking about this game. I say all of this because I have a lot of negative things to say, though I still love this game, and I've wanted to make this ranking video for a while, as I've always wanted to figure out exactly how I would rank these worlds. There are no steadfast rules I use, as you will all find out, as I'm very subjective in my rankings. However, I did try to keep things somewhat objective, as I asked the following questions when I ranked the games. 1. Do I enjoy replaying the world? And 2. Is it fun? Whilst I do think that story is important, the main reason that I replay Kingdom Hearts 1 is not for the story, but rather the gameplay. What that means is that gameplay will be the primary criteria that I use to rank the levels, not story. Of course, my nostalgia goggles are on tight, so I have a lot of double standards when comparing worlds, so I'll answer my very subjective questions with very subjective answers. This is all my opinion, blah blah blah, don't fight me. Lastly, please remember to do the stuff the algorithm likes, as making these videos does take some time. At the bottom of the list, in 13th place, is Deep Jungle. I wouldn't say that I hate Deep Jungle, but I will say that I massively dislike this level. Deep Jungle was the prime reason for my no jump challenge, and it was the main inspiration for my worst bits video. I'm going to paraphrase what I said in my worst bits video. I hate the platforming of this level, and I hate the vine section. Hippo's Lagoon is one of the worst rooms in the series, and I hate the platforming there. By far, the worst part of this level is that I would never know where to go when I was a child, and that feeling of frustration and hours being lost still persists when I replay this game to this day. In fact, even though I know where to go, if I stop to check my phone or go to the bathroom, I'll lose track of where I was. If I lose track of where I was, I will once again be lost in this level and have to spend an unnecessary amount of time figuring out where to go running around the level, which I just hate. The only positive of this level that I can think of is that I like sliding down the trees. That is actually fun, and I love forest levels in games, though Deep Jungle is technically a jungle. At number 12 is Monstro. To me, Monstro is even worse than Deep Jungle, as I would constantly get lost in Monstro's chamber rooms. One of the reasons that I dislike Monstro is for the sole reason that it's boring and monotonous. The chambers all look the same. I understand that we are inside a whale and it should probably look boring, but I'm still playing a game and would like it to be mildly interesting. There is no eye candy in this level. I feel like I care a lot more about eye candy in Kingdom Hearts games since I played KH3, but I digress. Luckily, I played through this game so many times that I know the route to take to beat the level, so me getting lost is not an issue anymore, at least in Monstro. All you have to do is go to the closest chamber and you'll get to the end. I can speedrun this level now, guys. So you guys are probably thinking, why is Monstro not in last place? The only reason that Monstro beats Deep Jungle is for having different cutscenes depending on if you have or haven't yet completed Neverland. It's a very subjective reason, but that's the truth. This is the coolest thing about the level for me. I'm sure 99% of players never witnessed this on their first playthrough of the game. Usually Sora and Riku fight together against the stomach boss. However, if you decide to complete Neverland before Monstro, Sora will fight the boss alone without Riku. I also really like when Riku says that he's Sora's best friend.
Wait, what are you?
What? You don't remember your best friend?
I prefer this dialogue over what he normally says, and we can only get this if we complete Neverland before Monstro. And this may just be me, but do you guys understand this cutscene?
Pinocchio!
Jiminy, I'm not gonna make it. Oh, I guess I'm okay.
Pinocchio says he's not going to make it. He wasn't lying. He believes he's telling the truth as he believed it to be true. This scene just reminds me of the George Costanza clip from Seinfeld.
Jerry, just remember, it's not a lie if you believe it.
Pinocchio thinks it's true, therefore to him it should be true. Pinocchio's nose shouldn't grow because he thinks it's true. I'm a bit upset that Pinocchio's nose is proving George wrong. At number 11 is Atlantica. The reason Atlantica beats Monstro is because it's bright and colorful, and I like colorful levels. That being said, I still do not like Atlantica. If you've seen my worst bits video, you'll already know that I don't like the first Ursula boss fight, and I talked about it in that video, so check it out if you want my full thoughts. Unfortunately, there is more that I dislike about Atlantica. The main reason that I dislike Atlantica is that everything Sora has learned up to this point in the game has been meaningless. The game has pulled a chain of memories and a KH2 and made Sora forget everything. Combos are completely worthless in this level. Those combo pluses and air combo pluses that you've achieved due to being level 99 are worthless. Sora will only do 3 Keyblade swings in this level. You might as well be playing on level 1. Cloud's Sonic Blade special attack or Ars Arcanum you were awarded with for progressing the story is useless. That sliding dash command, which is one of the most useful commands in the game, is gone, since we can't slide because we are swimming. Same thing with guard. Obviously, guarding underwater is such an obscure move that Square forgot to program it in. Kingdom Hearts is a hack and slash game, not a hack and guard game after all, therefore we don't need to guard. Even the best combo finisher, Ripple Drive, is not available in this level because Mermaid Sora is a garbage character that no one cares about. Using your magic in Atlantica thankfully is allowed, but now that begs the question of how Sora can use Fire, Blizzard, and Thunder underwater. In the case of Kingdom Hearts 3, they at least had the decency to put Sea Fire, Sea Blizzard, and Sea Thunder. Whatever that means, but at least there's Sea in the name, so I guess it's allowed. But how does the magic work in KH1 Atlantica? Should Sora harm himself with thunder? How does Fire and Blizzard work underwater? I sense that I'm overthinking it again. Gameplay wise though, the fact that the entire combat system has regressed to level 1 is the main reason that I dislike Atlantica, as all our leveling up has been for nothing. And full disclosure guys, I don't really play this level as I choose to go to Halloween Town, so I feel really bad even ranking this. I do hate grabbing this stupid dolphin though. I hope he gets beached. Something I do like about Atlantica is this scary part. This is one of the few things that I like about this level, as I know this scared me when I was playing the game for the first time. At number 10 is the 100 Acre Wood. Ranking this level was tough. There aren't that many positives that I have to say about this level, but there aren't that many negatives about this level either. And either way I choose, it doesn't matter, as you can skip this world, so who cares? The biggest positive of this world is that it's calming to me. I feel like I can relax and take my time here. We can't die, and the problems that Pooh and the gang have are almost mundane compared to the rest of the game. We are also given access to Bambi, our lord and savior, and I will always love Bambi after my no attack video. And besides that, it's a minigame world. Sometimes I want to take it easy and go into the 100 Acre Wood, but most of the time I want to fight in another world like Olympus Coliseum. Since I'm playing an action game, not a puzzle game, I need to be in a mood to travel to the 100 Acre Wood. My biggest negative about this world is that you need to get the pages for this world in other worlds, so you can't really finish everything in one go. So I will frequently wait until I have collected all of the pages and I'm in the end game to come to this level. However, when I come, I don't really care, as there's nothing in this level that I want when I do finally acquire the final page. At number 9 is Neverland. If you've seen my Peter Pan video, you should already know that I like the Peter Pan character, so he's already viewed favorably in my eyes. I have 2 criticisms for Neverland though. The first is getting the level to spawn. Even if you clear 2 out of 3 worlds required to unlock Neverland, you may not necessarily get Captain Hook's ship to capture Sora. Unlike Monstro, the pirate ship capturing Sora and gang is not 100% guaranteed. At least once every 20 playthroughs I won't get captured and I'll be forced to fly the gummy ship again from Halloween Town to Atlantica, hoping for the ship to appear. The other reason that I hate Neverland is due to Hook's ship itself being too small. At least on the inside, I hate being inside the ship. It's just so confining and I feel like the camera on the ship just causes me to get a headache, but this part is easily avoided. The fight on Hook's ship when we are outside is fine though. I like fighting Hook. But then there's the Phantom fight, which I talked about in my worst bits video, and Phantom is okay. I like the fight now, as I know what to do, but back in the day I hated this fight, and the fact that the game locks Big Ben until we beat Phantom when we revisited Neverland is annoying. The reason visiting Big Ben matters to me now is that there are treasures in the doors that we can get on the clock tower, so you'll have to revisit Big Ben every hour or so to collect treasure. I really like secrets like this and think it's super cool, but I don't like that it's hidden behind defeating Phantom. At number 8 we have Halloween Town. I had never seen the Nightmare Before Christmas movies as a kid, so there is no nostalgia here. The main reason that I dislike this level is because it's dark. To me, this level would be better if there was sunlight in it. When I played this game as a kid, I played it during the daytime on a small CRT television, so there was always glare on the screen. I hate dark levels in general, honestly. I always crank the brightness to max for levels like this when I play other games. Unfortunately, Halloween Town falls into the category of being a dark level. These steps were always guesswork for me to go up as a kid. I know it's visible now, but for little Charlie, it was a black wall. Fighting Boogie on the roulette wheel really is a highlight for me, as I like the gambling aspect of this fight. The RNG for this fight is the proper type of RNG for a game in my opinion. It doesn't matter what attack Boogie does, as you'll get to damage him after his attack. I simply like that this boss fight feels like a classic Crash Bandicoot boss fight. I really like the idea of scaling Boogie Manor. I thought it was impressive as a kid as I thought Boogie was actually the building. Now I recognize that we aren't fighting the building, but we are fighting blobs, which is really underwhelming, so the fight feels far less epic. That being said, I really like the victory lap that the game lets us take after beating Oogie Boogie. At number 7 we have Agrabah, and I like Agrabah for one reason, and we are getting into the subjective reasons on this list now, or super subjective. I like Genie. I don't care about the Cave of Wonders or Kurtziza or the Magic Carpet Ride or anything. As a side note for you guys about the Magic Carpet Ride, if you hit circle, you can roll on the magic carpet and make it flip. Not a lot of people know about that, or maybe I just didn't know. Anyways, Agrabah is the only world where I will wait for a few seconds before just automatically skipping the cutscenes because I need to hear Genie talk.
Please, kid, leave the intros to a professional. The one and only Genie of the Lamp! Rub-a-dub-dub the lamp and have your dearest wishes granted. Today's winner is Aladdin! Congratulations!
The main reason being that Genie is voiced by Dan Castellaneta. Dan is the voice of Homer Simpson. I don't think I've said this on the channel, but The Simpsons is one of my favorite TV shows. Go! I hear Genie talk and see Homer in my head. However, for those of you that have not seen the actual Aladdin film, the cartoon one, the voice actor for Genie is actually Robin Williams, not Dan. Dan voices Genie in everything else except the original Aladdin movie. Robin Williams voiced Genie in the first Aladdin film, so who cares? I care. For those of you that don't know, Robin Williams was Mork in the very old show Mork and Mindy, which I loved watching as a kid. My love for Mork and Mindy and all the movies that Robin Williams acted in is why I like Genie and thus Agrabah. Super subjective. That is really the biggest reason that I like Agrabah, because of Homer Simpson and Mork from Mork. Gameplay wise, the fight against Jafar and Genie Jafar is one of my favorites in the franchise. When you fight against Jafar, I think it's funny. Jafar forces Genie to fight Sora, and Genie is such an unwilling partner and reminds me of some of my friends in real life. He tells Sora he is going to hit him, and it's such a lame attack with such a long wind-up for an attack that you should feel terrible if it hits you.
I'm really sorry about this. Excuse me. I'm really sorry about this.
And given that Homer is attacking us, I really am expecting Genie to say "Don't" when he hits Sora, just because I see Homer's face when Genie talks. Aside from me nerding out about films and television, the other reason I like Agrabah is because it's just a good video game level. It's the desert level, and by law, all 3D action games need to have a desert level. At number 6, we have The End of the World. Honestly guys, remembering that the name of this world is called End of the World rather than The World That Never Was is an incredibly difficult task, as I keep referring to it as The World That Never Was in my head, even though I know it's not that. I know that now there's a bunch of theories about if Ava was in the capsule, so there's that mystery of this level, but I really don't care about the story stuff that much in my rankings. What I absolutely hate are these invisible wall sections, where we have to use the rocks as arrows to know where to go. I'm okay with the forced fights in it, I just hate that the invisible walls are a gameplay mechanic at the start of the level. Aside from that, I really like the actual environments. As the name of the world implies, it does indeed feel like the end of the world and a last level. My friends and I always thought that these falling balls were where Sora's gravity spells came from. If that was what Sora's gravity spell did to enemies when we used it on them. Like, did it send all enemies to the end of the world? That's what we always thought, and that's sort of why I like this world, as it reminds me that I once had friends. Lastly, one of my favorite things about End of the World is when it forces us to revisit prior worlds and levels that we didn't complete. I love that if you didn't seal a keyhole, you are forced to enter a flame portal and fight in the world that you didn't complete. At number 5 on the list, we have Destiny Islands / Dive to the Heart. I hope that you guys don't mind me lumping these two areas together, since it's all in the quote-unquote tutorial level. I don't really have anything interesting to say about the Dive to the Heart sequence. In my No Attack Challenge video, we figured out that we can't actually die to these Heartless. The game will not let us die and constantly gives us potions, which I think is cool. And if you're watching this video, you probably know that you can choose to lose to the first Darkside boss in the game and still continue. I love that KH1 lets players that suck progress the game, honestly. As for Destiny Islands, I like this level. It reminds me of early 2000s games to just have cool throwaway levels or sections of a game that evoke some sense of emotion that we will never be able to access again. And this may come as a surprise to you guys, but I like the beach. I don't have 6-pack abs, but I do have a 1-pack, which is to say that I have a fat belly. But I still like the beach, and Destiny Islands makes me want to go to the beach. Granted, I'd like bigger waves than this, but there is no seaweed or sharks at Destiny Islands, so this is passable. Of course, the infamous Sora Dinner's Ready scene takes place on Destiny Islands, or Destiny Islands adjacent landmass, so this world gets points for that.
Sora, dinner's ready, come on.
What I really like about Destiny Islands though, and it's completely unrelated to Kingdom Hearts, is that it reminds me of another video game franchise that I love, which is Ape Escape, specifically the PS1 Ape Escape. I'm a big fan of Ape Escape, which I don't think I've said on this channel yet. I played the game quite a lot as a kid, and basically Sora is Spike and Riku is Jake. Spike and Jake are both best friends and rivals, just like Sora and Riku. Sora is red and Riku is blue, just like Spike and Jake. Riku and Jake are both antagonists in the story until they are not. Sora starts with an S, just like Spike, and there are other stupid similarities like that. Please list more in the comments if you know them. However, this scene at the literal start of Ape Escape, where Spike and Jake are having to get to the professor's lab, is basically the PS1 cutscene version of when Sora and Riku have their race to see who gets to name the raft and eat the Pao-Poo fruit with Kairi.
Hey, Spike, did the professor finish the time station yet? Are we gonna get to go back in time?
He said he'd be finished with it today. Let's go.
I can't wait to check out the dinosaurs. And what about the future?
Yeah, we'll keep talking because I'm going first.
That's not fair. Hey.
To this day, when I do the race against Riku, which we can't skip, I always remember the very first Ape Escape cutscene and hum the song when I race Riku. This is one of the reasons that I like Destiny Islands, because it reminds me of Ape Escape. Even when we fight Riku on top of the island, I think of Spike and Jake. I was really young when I played Kingdom Hearts, guys. We also get to fight with Selphie, Waka, and Tidus on Destiny Islands, and I love Final Fantasy 8 and 10, so I have no complaints. There really isn't anything more that I can say about Destiny Islands. It reminds me of Ape Escape, and I get to fight with Ratchet before he becomes a Dream Boy in Xanarkand. At number 4, we have Hollow Bastion, which for me is a level with lots of the feels. This is where Sora had to fight Riku, who was once his friend. Donald and Goofy left us stranded, and we simped for Kairi so hard that we killed ourselves. Plus, we jumped into a bubble and never suffocated, so there is that science fiction moment as well. Above all else, the field theme of this level really hits me with the feels. The world, especially for a young Charlie, was always scary as we had to go into the big scary castle and fight enemies with such a melancholy soundtrack. The feeling that our friends abandoned us, and the fact that we lost the Keyblade and had to rely on a wooden sword. There is just this sentiment in me that nothing matters anymore when I play this level. And I should say that these are all positive feelings to have for a video game. Usually if I go to a world like Deep Jungle, I would just be bored or frustrated, so having another non-frustrated emotion is a positive thing. As for things that I don't like, one would be the Beast Puzzle Underground thing. It's not hard or anything, it just wastes time, as I know the solution. It really is just boring replaying the puzzle. I also had this cutscene for this fight memorized as a child, as I failed against Riku a lot, and I still despise this fight. And really, that's all I hate about this world. It took me years and probably watching a YouTube video to figure out that we need to use gravity on the floating chest in the air to get them to come down. This blew my mind. And what's even cooler is that there are a few more secrets in this level that also took me years to figure out. For example, using blizzards on the suffocating bubbles to create platforms blew my mind, and something even crazier were these two blocks. I would have never thought to raise both of the blocks up and then fly under them. This level to me feels like it has a bunch of secrets just waiting to be uncovered. Above all else, I really love just scaling the castle, as that's my favorite part of the level. It's very linear, so you won't get lost, and of course the combat in Kingdom Hearts 1 is superb, so I'm totally fine fighting wave after wave of these tough heartless enemies. Every new room I enter feels like it could be the end for Sora, and I absolutely love this. At number 3 on the list is Traverse Town. I have spent hours on my PS2, literal hours, running around looking for Donald and Goofy. I don't know when I realized that returning to Sid's shop was the trigger for Leon. I have listened to the music of Traverse Town so much that I actually made lyrics as a kid for what someone would sing for the Traverse Town music if they were to add lyrics to it. That's to tell you guys how many hours I used to run around in this level looking for Donald and Goofy. This isn't a joke or hyperbole, I still have the song for this level memorized in my head. I know I mentioned this in another video, but one of my favorite things about Kingdom Hearts games is when they have worlds within worlds. This is the only level in the game to have a world within a world, which is Pooh's world. And unlike Hollow Bastion, Traverse Town gives me the complete opposite emotion. It feels like a safe and cozy place to return to. This is the best hub world in the series as well. This is the only level where you can buy items such as potions and ethers, and the only world where we access the Moogles to synthesize stuff. It houses the majority of the Final Fantasy characters for the majority of the game. You can buy gummy blocks for the gummy ship here. We return all the Dalmatians for items, and we get the postcard mission. There are so many things to do here. I feel like there's always something fun and easy to do in Traverse Town. And unlike most recent Kingdom Hearts games, there are a bunch of secrets in this level. Like having to use Blizzard to out the candles never occurred to me as a child, as that seemed rude, as they were obviously lit for a reason. And using the lightning magic in this area in the 3rd district, whilst obvious to everyone, was not obvious to me. When you do use thunder and hear the good job noise, you're probably expecting something to happen, but nothing occurs. I like these little secrets, as who would guess to go to the Gizmo shop after that? At number 2 we have the Olympus Coliseum. Firstly, the music is world famous, as it's been heard all over the world since it got played during the 2021 Tokyo Olympics, so it's already legendary. However, besides the music, I like Olympus for the very obvious reason that all we do here is fight. My love for this level was further increased as it turns out to be difficult to get lost in a world with only 3 rooms, and luckily for Kingdom Hearts 1, the combat is enjoyable. I have spent literal hours doing and redoing the Hades Cup for fun or to level up. I can honestly spend hours just fighting the Heartless, and there is a good reason to play the Hades Cup in the game compared to KH2. You get to level up your Blizzard, Thunder, and Gravity spells, as they are unlocked after finishing certain rounds. This is big, guys. KH2 has absolutely no reward other than a trophy for completing the Hades Paradox Cup. And as another side note to KH2, Olympus Coliseum in KH1 is better than the Olympus Coliseum in KH2 for the main reason that we can actually level up by doing cups. I hate the Square made it so we can't get experience in KH2. Cloud is also in the Coliseum. I played the original Final Fantasy VII on the PS1, but I love the Kingdom Hearts version of Cloud compared to his previous blocky PS1 self. I would have preferred more dialogue with just Cloud and Sora, but I'm happy for Cloud. When we had to fight Cloud, I was ready to throw the fight for him. Screw Sora. And I involuntarily did, as Cloud is awesome. Similar to Genie in Aladdin being voiced by Homer Simpson, Phil in Olympus is voiced by Danny DeVito. And just like Dan, every time that Phil talks, I see Danny DeVito's face in my head.
And I got my hands full preparing for the game.
One of my top 10 favorite shows ever has to be It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and I think of Frank literally every time that I hear Phil talk. Danny DeVito is also one of the main characters on another one of my favorite shows, which is Taxi, which is awesome, and makes Olympus even better. He basically acts like Phil in Taxi. I'm a big nerd, guys, and will never forgive Kingdom Hearts 3 for not letting us hear Phil talk. And at the number 1 spot by a far margin, my favorite world in Kingdom Hearts 1 is Wonderland. The real struggle for this list was finding a second place. When I started making this list, I knew that Wonderland would be first. I didn't have to think about that one. Wonderland is weird, which is why it is my number 1 level. And by this level being weird, I am entirely referring to the Bazaar Room. Walking on the walls is trippy, and seeing the room from different perspectives is exactly why I love this world. There are just so many secrets in this level that I adore it. Traverse Town has secrets and Hollow Bastion has secrets, but they are not as wonderful as Wonderland. There are so many little details here, and I would love to name all of them, but this isn't the video for that, and I'm sure that there are some that even I don't know. Giving the flowers potions for high potions or giving flowers ethers for camping sets is the perfect bartering system. Getting free items by literally sitting down on the chairs in the tea garden is great. Getting big just to stand on a stump to unlock more of the level is perfect Wonderland thinking. This is a great adaptation of the weirdness the book was going for if it were to be made into a video game during the PS2 generation. I absolutely love that we find the Keyblade for Wonderland in the Lotus Forest. I wish we could get it earlier in the game since we need to use a Trinity to get the Wonderland Keyblade that we don't have yet, but I like the reward for exploration this level has. An underrated game, which I replay every so often, is Alice Madness Returns, specifically the level with the playing cards in the sky. Just replaying this section of the game is awesome because it's weird. I am one of those weird people that love everything about Alice in Wonderland, and Wonderland being my favorite level has been number 1 for years. Honestly, I would love to see an Alice level in Kingdom Hearts 4 or any modern Kingdom Hearts game, as long as it is as weird as the original and has very intricate level design. It took me years to realize that we could free Donald and Goofy from their cages when the Queen captures them, and we can even become perverts and look at the Queen's underwear. This is one of my favorite fights in the game because of the secrets in the fight. As a kid, I spent literal hours searching for evidence, expecting the game to tell me when I found the evidence, so I leveled up quite a bit from just running around the level. And just like Traverse Town, I have lyrics for this world's theme music memorized in my head due to the length of time that I was in the level. I'm not joking, and this truly isn't hyperbole. Above all else, this level is super short, so if you don't want to engage in it, you don't have to. You only need one piece of evidence, which is easy to get, and getting to fight Trickmaster is a very simple task once you know what to do. Speedrunning this level to get to another level is actually a very tolerable experience, which is why I love it so much. I can waste hours here or just spend the 20 minutes to get through. It really depends on what I want to do. And those are my rankings for all the levels of Kingdom Hearts 1. Obviously, these are very subjective reasons, such as me liking Agrabah because Genie reminds me of Homer Simpson, or me liking Olympus because Phil reminds me of Louis or Frank from Taxi or Sunny. But these are my reasons for the ranks. Again, to me, gameplay is more important than story, and I try to stick to that criteria when ranking the levels. KH1 has been one of my favorite games since childhood, and I've probably beaten this game over 100 times if you count the non-Final Mix PS2 version. I'm expecting a lot of people to have differing opinions with me about Wonderland, but I really like weird levels. Ven's visit in Birth by Sleep to Castle of Dreams might be the second weirdest level in the Kingdom Hearts series since he shrinks down, and I might make a video on the Birth by Sleep world's rank sometime in the future, as I do have some thoughts on the Birth by Sleep worlds. Do you guys agree with my rankings? Please leave a comment below with your own ranks and reasons, as I like to hear where I stack up amongst people that view my videos. I'm going to say that you guys will have Traverse Town or Hollow Bastion, or any original Kingdom Hearts world first on your list. That's my guess. Please do the stuff the YouTube algorithm likes, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching.